Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for spending some time with me here today. As always, this is the time for you to ask your questions, to have some time for discussion, for us to be engaged in maybe some silliness, hopefully some seriousness, hopefully something for you to contemplate and to think about for your day and to just be engaged in. Um, as always, if you have questions or comments, you can leave them below. We can go off on a tangent and see where it leads us. We can see where this ends today, where we go. If you want to ask me a question, you can always put it in a direct message to me and we can talk about it there, or we can talk about it throughout. Sorry, saying my speed is low, so I'm just trying to close a few things to open it up. We can have a conversation one-on-one to see where you're at. I know I always seem to have a tangent that we can go off of, and I really sort of struggled with this one because it came to me from someone who's looking for a faith community who was talking about how they've experienced a lot of Christian hate, and they use that language, and it makes my heart hurt because those two words I don't believe should be connected. Primarily because, and I will speak for me, that the faith that I believe in, the Jesus that I believe in, talks about seeking to bring people together. Yes, he talks that there will be division, but it was often when he talks about division, it was because some were going to follow Jesus and change their way of life, seek to change the culture and the way things were that would separate them, because there would be a group that wouldn't be willing to follow, that wouldn't be willing to say, yes, we see the importance of caring for the widow, of caring for the orphan, of being present with those in need, of engaging the world with care and with love. Um, and that's where Jesus talked about division and struggle, and to hear that and to see, because I've seen it, that groups that proclaim faith as Christians who preach hate. There's a song by Macklemore and Lewis. It was out about 10 years ago, and one of the lyrics, if some of you don't know this about me, I have this space in the back of my head for lyrics and for songs. So you can start singing something probably from like the 50s to a lot of the present stuff. And I could probably sing along with you. But he talks about this, and he says that it goes, if you preach hate at the service, your words aren't anointed. And I just found that fascinating, this notion of our inability or unwillingness to stand up against that language of hate within a faith community. Yes, we can say we don't agree with something. Yes, we can say this is what our faith calls us to. But so often of late, of the last 5 years or so, moreover, we hear of churches and about faiths that we learn more about what they're against than what they're for. The Lutheran Church, the church that I'm a part of, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, the National Church, we just had a big meeting for everybody, representatives, and it's the people that gather that seek to prayerfully move forward with the work of God as the body of Christ, as the church. So they made decisions over the last week that are going to make the church different. And there were some big decisions. One is a study to see about, does the church need to be restructured? And if so, what would that look like, and how would that happen? To how I'm trying to think of some of the other things that we that they talked about, because I wasn't a voting member, but I did watch some of it. But it's, how do we offer inclusivity? How do we open our doors to all people, and profess our faith? And for me, that was one of the things that drew me to the Lutheran faith, that drew me to an understanding of grace, is that we all struggle, we all have our faults, we all misstep, we all falter, we all fall. Yet we believe in a God who came down specifically to offer us grace, to offer us compassion, to to pay, to renew that bound, that connection with us and with God, um, by a one-sided covenant, by Jesus going, "I will offer myself," or God saying, "I will offer my son as a sacrifice." Not not about, what are where is your sacrifice? God going, "Here's mine." Um, and then, for me, it's what is our response then? What is our response to that sacrifice, to that gift of compassion, of grace? And how do we live into that? How do we talk about our faith, not based on hate, not based on, we don't agree with this, or this is what, this is against God, blah. And I've heard so much of it. It makes it, as I said, it makes my heart heavy, because when Jesus talks, when Jesus acts, he doesn't do it out of hate. He does it out of grace. He does it out of compassion. He does it out of love for those that he interacts with. Those who are struggling, those that he healed, those who were cast aside by culture, by society, by the religious leaders of the time, who said that they were not worthy. That's where Jesus went. And I know I've talked about this before, um, but I'm always struck, and I seek to try to live it, and I know I don't always do it. I don't always do it well. Is that at that Last Supper, when Jesus was surrounded by his disciples, knowing that it would be the last time that he would eat before he would be arrested, before he would go through whatever it was he was going through, because I'm, I'm not sure if he fully understood what was coming, but he takes the form of a servant, of a slave, to wash the disciples' feet. And that was like the bottom of that status. And he washes the disciples' feet, and he washes Peter's feet, who's going to deny him 3 times, and he washes Judas's feet, who goes to betray him for money. And yet he offers them that grace. He offers them that compassion. He offers them that meal, reminding them of that grace. And for me, that's powerful. That's who the church should be, because the church isn't a building. It's not where I'm at. It's the people. It's who we are. It's those assembled. The church goes out to every corner of the world because people go out to every corner of the world to serve. And our service, our call to care for other people, should be in response to what Jesus has done for us. So is it hate? I, I, I can't understand that. And and what does it mean then to live that? Jesus is and I've seen this before too, Jesus' harshest words were for the religious leaders of the time. And yet he associated with those who weren't in church, who shouldn't have received that grace. Roman centurions, Roman leaders, even the religious leaders themselves, who on the cross Jesus says, "Forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Those are powerful words for us to remember, and they should challenge us deeply to experience something different, to stand up when we hear that notion of Christian hate and say those two shouldn't go together. You know, if we're going to beat someone down because of mistakes that they've made, that's not what Jesus did. Jesus sought to lift people up. Jesus sought to encourage. Jesus sought to challenge us to live better. So I know it's a heavy topic for today, especially with school starting. It was great to hear the kids across the street yesterday laughing and being out on the playground with each other. But I couldn't not experience that with you today. You know, when I don't know, there's so many more avenues and tangents we could go down, and if you guys want to go down those, I would be glad to. But we as the church need to stand up to be different. We need to realize what it means to see the world differently, to live into it differently. Not saying that it's going to be easy, not saying that we won't falter or be challenged sometimes, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we'll do it perfectly, because we are a group of imperfect people, but we trust in a God who is perfect and who comes to us because of our imperfections, not because of our perfection, not because we're seeking to be better than anybody else, but that we take that low position to serve. And I think it's how we move forward. If you do want to have a deeper conversation about this one-on-one, thank you, Paul, for your comments. As always, it's great to have you. And if you are in our area on Sunday mornings, starting in September, we're going to start a book study on Andy Stanley's book, Not In It to Win It. Why choosing sidelines the church. I don't always agree with Andy Stanley. We have our differing views on things, but I think this is a powerful book. If anyone is interested in reading it and you're not local and you want to do a community discussion on it online, I would be glad to get that started as well. We can do it in conjunction with the one that we do at church, or different ways to do it. Whether you're pastors, whether you're just intrigued by it. So I encourage you to reach out and take a look at it. I can put the link in. You can buy it on Amazon, or if you're local, you can get it here at the church too. But even if you're not, I encourage you to read it, because it's really powerful, and I think it challenges us, hopefully differently, to see what our calling is in faith. So I want to thank you guys for spending some time with me this morning. It's a little longer than I normally go, but I think it's something that we needed to talk about this morning. So thank you all for spending some time with me. Oh, good morning. Yes, Joanne, I will put that link in the comments for the book for you, and for anybody who wants to buy it. And if anybody's interested, as I said, please feel free to check it. If this was impactful for you, if this challenged you, I invite you to share it. You can send a link to someone you know. You can share it on your page. If you are interested and want to join us for worship, I invite you to do that as well. You can always join us here on Facebook. We are getting our audio figured out for the outside worship, but that will be coming out. And also, you can join us here online coming up at 8:15 and 9:30 on Sunday mornings, or whenever you want to watch it, you can stream it through our church Facebook page or on our website. Again, if you guys have any questions or comments that you want to leave publicly, please do that. If not, if you want to have questions or conversations with me privately, you can message me directly. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys are engaged for the work that God is calling you to do to serve the world around you. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. God bless.